Hi, Sergeant Beast Larson. What is the Officer Down Memorial page? And how does it help us various ways? Now, first, as I was preparing this yesterday, it did bring tears to my eyes. It is very sad. And I used this a lot as a trainer back in Boone County, Kentucky in the 90s and 2000s when I was a police officer. But I had two very close friends that committed suicide that were police officers. So to look through this and to read and statistics, it is difficult. And I did have to pray a couple times yesterday and this morning to be prepared to do this short video. The Officer Down Memorial page, mission statement. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to honoring America's fallen law enforcement officers. More than 26,000 officers have died in the line of duty in the United States since 1776. And the Officer Down Memorial page is honored to preserve their memories and give friends, family, and other officers and citizens alike the opportunity to remember the fallen and honor their sacrifices. That's a lot, folks. That's a lot. Outside of war and the military, how many other jobs are sacrificing that much? And as I'm clicking on this page here, just think, over 26,000 officers have died. Families, that's husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, fathers, mothers, grandparents. That's that many families that are affected. It doesn't stop. I'll explain a little bit more. Here's a couple things that the ODMP does. Free bulletproof vests. St. Michael's Shield Project has provided over 2,100 lightly used vests, body armor vests. Level 2, Level 3, various types of slightly used body armor. And I made a video and I told you about this in Kentucky. When I first started police in 92, my point blank vest got to be 5 years, expired, turned it back in. And they were donated. And some went down to Warsaw, Kentucky, down the Ohio River a little bit, next county. And my friend, his dad lived next to me. I lived down in Williamstown, Kentucky, and his dad was the mayor. Glenn Caldwell was the mayor. Well, his son, Brent Caldwell, was a police officer, had about 8 years on the job. And the vest was taken down to the apartment. Brent was on third shift. And he got a suspicious person call at the high school a little bit after midnight. So Brent, and it's a small place, one-man patrol, backup's a half an hour away coming from the sheriff's department. He goes to the high school. There's a homeless man laying on the bench. They get in a shootout, shoot each other. Brent survived. The homeless man did not. He's deceased. My wife and I went to the hospital the next day. Looked at him, and he had the 3 bruises down here, lower abdomen, because the guy come off the bench and just shot real quick. They were fairly close, and big bruises and Brent's. I said, "How you feel?" And he said, "My stomach hurts like Mike Tyson had hit me." I said, "But you're alive to talk to me." I said, "You're not supposed to get shot on your first day of wearing this vest." Now, this wasn't, that day, that incident wasn't a part of St. Michael's Shield Project. But that's what this project does. It saves lives. That's just one of the aspects. You can research on the ODMP page. You can research officers and look at statistics, which I'll tell you here in just a second. You can make donations to the family, support for the family, flowers and gifts for a funeral for the family. There's a page to stop. Let me get back to this page. It's called No Parole for Cop Killers. You can sign and get that out. Do not let the cop killers loose. No parole. Keep them. They got life without parole for a reason. Subscribe for notifications. There's the armbands, the little wristbands that go on the wrist that you can wear. You can provide support. Your agency can make a donation $20 donation, but it's a commitment. And this is a great thing, because when your chief or your sheriff makes this donation and puts this on the wall, it reminds each officer every day that your department, you individually, are committed to making sure that not only yourself goes home, the golden rule, go home every day unharmed, but that your partners, your coworkers go home every day unharmed. So it's a commitment. And then that $20, and there's many agencies that do this, but it adds up and it really makes a difference. There's a memorial grant program. This page does a lot of miraculous things. And I want to tell you something else really quick about this, the history. In 1996, Chris Cogriff, then a James Madison University freshman, read a Washington Post article about the release of a murderer convicted of slaying 2 Prince George County, Maryland police officers. Upon learning of that violent crime, he served only 16 years of his heinous act. Chris was compelled to find a way to honor those and other fallen officers. Thus, the officer memorial page was created. Thank you, Chris, for being one of many, but starting this Officer Down memorial page for us. Now, I told you there's different ways to support, financial support, by being there, by helping. And as I'm gathering my notes, I remember the first time on the sheriff's department, I interviewed, and we went to this psychological firm. I interviewed with the psychologist for sergeant. He said, if you were to obtain the rank of sergeant and one of your officers is killed in the line of duty, how would you support the family? And this isn't something that was in the books, not a trick question, but I just wanted to get a feeling. How are you going to help? I was like, shoot, I'd send a guy over and, or get overtime, whatever's approved, send a guy over, help mow the grass, for the widow. If he didn't have kids or somebody that could do this, we would help, we would check, we would call, be there, be supportive, cautious to not be overwhelming to the spouse, but be there. Be there, be in touch, be availability, and I explained some things. And I had been an instructor teaching defensive tactics, the PPCT system, very familiar, making notes like this all the time to talk about in shift briefing for safety. But I never thought anybody would ask me that question. If I was a sergeant, how would I handle this? If you asked me as a training officer, I had to answer. This page really is beneficial. Now, I'll explain a few things in statistics, but also kind of want to lean a little bit to the correctional field too as well. So far this year in 2024, 88 officers have made the ultimate sacrifice. In 2023, 139. In the last 5 years, 1,848. In the last 10 years, 2,744. And remember, 9/11 was over 10 years ago. There's still officers dying from 9/11 related illness. 2023, let me point something out. And this is specific to correction officers, because I talked about in a video and doing a podcast about stab vests, the lack of stab vests. This is how things can benefit. And remember, I talked to you about the St. Michael Guardian, the free bulletproof vests. Correction officers, there's many federal grants. Contact the ODMP. Contact for help. There are many research grant writers that are experts. I've had a couple volunteer, one's from Wisconsin. I am a great grant writer if you know anybody that needs help. Why are we not getting these vests? In 2023, there were 139 deaths in law enforcement. The average age is 45 years old with 14 years on the job. It's not rookies. I don't want to say the word complacency, but I just did. Folks in uniform, every day you have to be sharp. Sharp as a tack. Sun up to sundown, sundown to sun up. Day one to the day you retired like me, and I got to ride home in a cruiser for the last time. In corrections in 2023, an officer died of pulmonary embolism. Another officer died of COVID, and this is just last year in corrections. Officer was assaulted, hit in the head with a steel pipe, and killed. An officer assisting probation and parole on a traffic stop making an arrest, a warrant arrest, on the side of the road, along with 2 other officers, was killed in a vehicle assault. Murdered by a vehicle, by the operator. Another officer was stabbed in the back by a homemade shank. Another officer, auto accident. Another officer died from an assault. This is in corrections. In 2022, 2 correction officers died of a heart attack. Now, before I further explain, let me tell you, as a defensive tactics instructor, and many of you do this, and we talk about this on the link I posted, other people do. We take what has happened and we learn from it. We mourn, we grieve heavily sometimes. But we learn from this. In 2022, 62 officers were killed by gunfire, 14 heart attack. The average age of the officer, 47 years. The average tour of duty was 16 years and 1 month. Again, it's not the rookies. But it's also a testament that age has no boundary in law enforcement in the will to protect and serve. Age, experience, 16 years and 1 month. The experienced officers are still in the game, in the fight to protect and serve. Is that not a testament of our faith, of our profession? Didn't God say, blessed are the peacekeepers? In 2022, 2 correction officers died of a heart attack. One while running to an inmate fighting an officer. The second while actually assisting an officer who was being attacked. Viciously attacked by an inmate. 8 died of COVID in 2022. 1 correction officer died of gunfire while assisting with the canine track. Another officer, he was a deputy sheriff, so he worked in the county jail. Drove to shift early in the morning, pulled into the parking lot of the sheriff's office. Suspect was waiting in the parking lot, got into a fight with him, assaulted the officer, and shot and killed the officer as he pulled in to go to shift at the beginning of his day. The question I ask about this here, the 2 attacked, killed by gunfire, were they wearing a vest? 2 auto accidents on duty. On duty meaning they were in the facility. Some places, they're buildings, and they're traveling from one to another, and it may involve a crossing public streets to get around and get to it. One of them ran off the road, hit a tree, and his car caught on fire, burst into flames. He died. We don't know if he had a vest on. Would the vest have possibly saved him enough to get out of the car? We don't know. Another officer, young officer, traveling from one part of the prison to another location. Oncoming vehicle came over into her lane, hit her head on, and killed her. Folks, wearing a vest in a car accident can help you. Don't rely on the airbag from the steering wheel. Don't rely on the airbag from the pillars. Having that vest on does take that blunt force trauma in the chest and help protect you. (2021) and this is going to be hard. I apologize. 719 officers lost their life in 2021. 502 of them as a result of COVID. My wife and I almost died in December of 2020 from COVID. It's very hard to talk about. Of the 502 officers that died from COVID, 74 were correction officers. Now things have changed. There's more safety precautions in the correctional environment. The numbers are down, but 74 correction officers dying of COVID. That's tragic. So 217 officers died in 2021 outside of COVID. 63 gunfire, 23 heart attack. Average age 49. Average tour of service 18 years and 4 months. Again, I'm 57. I'm done. I'm retired now. I had spine surgery. But last year at age 56, I was still training hard, still PTing. Let's go over this number. 74 correction officers died of COVID. 1 from a fall. He was climbing the tower. Outside the prison is the towers, the guard towers. Going up the stairs, fell down the stairs. They found him unresponsive and deceased. Another was from gunfire at a training officer range. Firing range. I know we have safety precautions. I've been at the range for 30 years in military and law enforcement corrections. Y'all have. There's no room for one mistake. Last year in Ohio, and this bothers me, a correction officer, member of the tactical unit, member of the state tactical unit, firing range, killed, accidental. Was he wearing a vest? Folks, when you go to the range, do you wear a vest at the range? I talked about this in a video. Wear your vest all the time. Police, corrections, everybody. If you're assigned a vest, if you have a vest, wear it at the range. Wear it on the job, obviously. Wear it when you're training. Wear it when you're PTing. If you got a vest in the backseat of your car and you're on the range firing without that, that range officer needs an unpaid vacation. If you're assigned a vest, it should be on your body. Should be the buddy check. Range officer checks, your buddy checks. Got your vest on? Yes, I do. We learn from our mistakes, everybody. We have many schools. We have many trainings, many programs, many leadership programs. Basic safety programs are still there. Defensive tactics are still there. Firing arms are still there. This is in August 2024. As we close out this year, folks, we need some more discussion. In 2025, presidential election is happening. It's going to happen here in November. But as whatever change, whatever happens in January with our presidency of the United States, as a law enforcement body, active or retired like me, we need to make 2025 the year that we take charge of this vest program, among others. We need vests on all police. We need vests on correction officers. No excuse. There's grant money. There's money. We need vests on everybody. Help me. Post some comments. If you're a grant writer, send it to me. Just DM me. That's fine. I'll just store it. I won't give it out to everybody. I'll put people in touch. I'll put you in touch with them, whatever. If you're a grant writer for vests, get a hold of me, please. so that we can help the others. 25 different states this week have told me again they do not wear vests. We need to help them. Let's make 2025 our year. I'm going to reach out to some people too. Let's all be a part of this. I'm not championing the cause. I will be a liaison. I will be with somebody to help, because it's much bigger than one person championing this cause. Let's do it together. This is Sergeant Beast Larson. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.